Sometimes the stars align on this program, and I would say this is one of those moments. It's my pleasure, my tremendous pleasure, to welcome back Sylvain Charlebois onto the program. You know him and love him as the food professor from out there at Dalhousie University. Sylvain, welcome back to the program.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm happy that you're on, because before we get into our subject of maple washing, I have to tell you a story that you're going to love, okay? And I just told it to our listeners.
You do have an interesting life.
I know. So Sylvain, on Sunday night at home, we made chicken pot pie. Okay, and I should have my other half made a chicken pot pie. It was delicious. We loved it. 7:00 dinner's over. I'm cleaning the kitchen, and I forgot to put the chicken pot pie in the fridge. I wake up the next morning. It's been on the counter all night. I do the Google search, it says throw it out. I do the AI, it says throw it out. Olivia and I, my better half, she says we're going to eat this thing. So Monday night, Monday night we had the leftovers. We warmed it up at 400 in the oven for 25 minutes, half an hour, and we ate it. We both checked out. We're fine. And I know we've talked about food waste and the sniff test and all that kind of stuff. I just want to know, was I dumb there? Should I have not had the chicken pot pie?
Well, I can only assume that your family's healthy. You're doing great, health-wise. So, yeah, I think it was okay. I think your wife was actually right to take the risk. I do that from time to time myself. I'm healthy. We take care of ourselves as a family, and so. But of course, if you have like young children or seniors in your home and they're experiencing some health issues, I wouldn't take the risk.
So that's a good point, because we did not feed it to our son for the second night. So we had a new meal for our son, but for the adults, we said we're going to take the risk. Okay, very good.
Since you survive now, if there's leftovers, you can feed your son now.
That's right. Luckily, there were no leftovers on that front. And I know you were the one on this program that told all of our listeners that you had yogurt that was 6 months old. So I figured I had to tell you about this.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and I'm still talking.
That's right. You're still kicking. So let's talk about the subject that we booked you on, what they call maple washing. You go to a grocery store and there are now maple leaves everywhere in the aisles, on the products. But it can be misleading at times to consumers. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, if you don't pay attention, you can be tricked. And to be honest with you, it upsets me. And every day I get emails from listeners, from readers, sharing their experiences at the grocery store. And of course, it's always hard to know for sure that pictures are legit and that the information is accurate. But you can tell, when someone is genuine, you're in the media yourself, sometimes when someone approaches you with a story, you'll know it's legit just based on the approach And I'll be honest with you. In the last few weeks, I've been upset with quite a few cases of maple washing. One of them, of course, you probably saw it on X yesterday. I was posting pictures of navel oranges made in Canada. Did you know that we actually produce oranges in Canada?
Oh, that's great
for your listeners. But here's the one part that it will upset your listeners. This one person, and I spoke to him yesterday. He actually went to the store. Okay, it's a Loblaw operated store in the Atlantic region. It's called the Atlantic Superstore. He went in, saw these navel oranges labeled as Canadian, $8 a pound, $8 for 3 pounds, sorry. And he alerted management. 24 hours, he went back into the store to the same shelf, and he saw, of course, the same oranges labeled as product of Egypt, 12.5% less.
Wow. And I'm looking at your post.
12.5% less. Same oranges.
So that's the thing, huh? Because so that's the economic motive. Consumers are letting these stores know, you slap a maple leaf, I'll pay more.
Exactly. And so people are kind of blinded because they're so upset with Donald Trump. They want to avoid American products, but as soon as they actually are drawn to the maple leaf, they don't necessarily look at the price. They don't necessarily look at the information. But some things out there are not necessarily logical, and you need to ask yourself questions. And you can perhaps say, it's confusing out there. Grocers do make mistakes from time to time, but that navel orange one, to me, that's too obvious. Anyone would know that oranges aren't grown in Canada. And two, the fact that they actually dropped the price at 12.5%, especially given the fact that yesterday we were learning that the food inflation rate far exceeds the inflation rate now, you have to be careful.
Yeah. Well, what's your reaction there, actually, Sylvain, right? Because seemingly we got good inflation news, and of course it's because the carbon tax went away for all of the country except for Quebec, of course. But the food numbers were bad. And you know, I hear from listeners, right, that say food is too expensive when they go to the grocery store and the restaurant, right? So what's your take? Do you think the hurt's coming? It's going to get even worse?
Actually, when I looked at the numbers nationally, Quebec did okay yesterday, to be honest. So I often look at the gap between inflation and food inflation. Why? Because that's when if food inflation far exceeds inflation, people will notice food prices that are really high. So the largest gap in the country is 3.6%. That's in Newfoundland. Mm-hmm. Not surprising, but the smallest gap in Canada is in Quebec at 1.3%. So you guys are doing okay. Still, food prices are going up. Food inflation has tripled the last 3 months in Canada versus the U.S., where food inflation is dropping. So people need to be extremely careful. And frankly, you know, the CFIA can't be everywhere. The city of Montreal can't be everywhere. If you can go in and you see mistakes, declare it. Take pictures, go to social media, make sure that the industry is made accountable, because we can't afford to see inflated prices like this right now.
Well, let me tell you something about the Canadian flag and maple washing. I bought pickles, Strub's pickles, right? And the apostrophe is a maple leaf.
It's a maple leaf, yeah.
And
you never noticed?
Well, you know, I've noticed that, but I bring it home and I turn the jar around, product of Germany.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I was like, wait a minute.
I got a better one for you. You know the soup Habitant, pea soup Habitant?
Yeah, made in the States.
It's made in the States. It was bought by Campbell's many, many years ago. Yeah. But if you look at the can, there's a maple leaf there. It says designed in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. Designed.
Designed in Canada.
Like it's an Apple product, right? You know, made in China, designed in California.
Exactly.
Let me ask you.
So, you got to be careful. Pay attention. Not everyone has the time to read everything, but if you do have the time, chances are you may actually find a mistake here and there, which could end up costing you way more.
Let me just ask you if you think Canadian consumers long term will stick with will stick to their guns, or do you think over time we will go back? You know, often boycotts don't last. Will we go back to our old habits of just buying the stuff that's based on price? Doesn't matter if it's from the States. What do you think is going to happen midterm, medium term, long term?
Well, I think it's happening already. People are starting to look at their budgets again. The economy is not, we know that the economy is not 100%. As soon as we start hearing the R word out
recession,
there, that's a sign. That's a sign. So people are careful with their budget. And as soon as that happens, typically people start focusing on where their food is coming from, and they're starting to actually pay attention to their dollars. And that's why bulk buying right now is the flavor of the month. In Montreal and elsewhere, people are trying to stretch their food dollars as much as possible. I
hate to put a cloud on the day here, but just to what you said, I was reading the Globe and Mail, and they've got a story out. The TD Bank, their chief economist, says Canada's entering a recession, and we're going to lose 100,000 jobs. You know, and I'm just like, maybe there are some clouds ahead when it comes to the Canadian
absolutely.
economy.
And frankly, I know a lot of people hate America right now, but when you look at the American economy, there's just no slowing down.
Yep.
I mean, despite Trump's recklessness, it's still going. And Trump actually called out Walmart. If you remember last week, Walmart said, you know what, stop the tariffs, Washington. This is ridiculous. We're going to have to charge more for our food. And Donald Trump said, eat it up.
Eat it.
And
eat it yourself.
Walmart can. Because the economy is strong. But in Canada, we just don't have that margin.
Sylvain, got to leave it there with you. It's always great chatting with you. Come back real soon, okay?
Take care. Bye-bye.
Sylvain Charlebois, you know him as the food professor from Dalhousie University.